Okay, here's how we can find the roots, also known as the x-intercepts, from standard form when we can't factor. So factoring is one way, so using factored form to find the roots. But if we can't factor, then we can use the quadratic formula. So this formula right here, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, and the whole thing is divided by 2a. This right here we call the quadratic formula. And this formula can be used to find the x-intercepts. So let's try it. Okay, so here's our equation in standard form. It's not factorable. So we know in this equation that a is equal to 2, b is equal to 8, and c is equal to negative 3. So let's go ahead and sub all of those things into the quadratic formula. So we've got negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4ac, and then the whole thing is divided by 2a. Okay, so all we did was sub a, b, and c into wherever it said to in the formula. So now we're just going to solve it. So I like to start with whatever's under the square root. So let's do all of those operations. You can do them all at the same time if you want to. So x equals negative 8 plus or minus, and now in one quick move, let's just find out what's under there. So 8 squared will be 64 minus 4 times 2 times negative 3. So if you multiply 4 times 2 times 3, you will get 24. And since we've got these two negatives here, negative and a negative, that's going to make it a positive. So it's 64 plus 24, which is 88. So that's the whole thing under the square root sign. And then that whole thing is divided by 2 times 2, which is just 4. Okay, so here's where I like to split up the equation into two parts. See how there's a plus and a minus? So in one part, we're going to do negative 8 plus root 88 divided by 4. And on the other side, we're going to do negative 8 minus root 88 divided by 4. And that's going to give us our two roots. Okay, so you actually are welcome to leave it like this if you want to. Those can be the two roots. Those are your two x-intercepts. Or if you want to go farther and use a calculator and say negative 8 plus the square root of 88 divided by 4, I got 0.345. And then on this one, let's do negative 8 minus the square root of 88 equals negative 17 divided by 4. Negative 4.345. So we've got two roots, or two x-intercepts at negative 4.345 and 0.345. Yeah, so all we did there was take a equation in standard form that we couldn't factor, plugged it into the quadratic formula, and we found out that our equation has two roots. So if we were to graph it, we know one root would be at 0.3 and the other one would be at negative 4. We know our parabola opens up. It's got a y-intercept at negative 3. So maybe it would look something like that. Cool, so that's how you use the quadratic formula. You just sub everything in and calculate it. That's it.